We now come to the foundation of the marketing playbook, and that is the belief framework. In this section, we are seeking to define a primary element of marketing, and that is customer beliefs. That is, we're seeking to answer questions like, what beliefs do your prospects and customers currently have about your industry, your product category, maybe even you and your product? And secondly, what are the beliefs that you need to create at the different stages of the buyer's journey? Or who, that is what personas, hold these beliefs? And how do you change their beliefs in order for them to move closer to a purchase decision? And what would create these beliefs? Now, as we start this discussion about beliefs, it's important to point out that beliefs are not the same thing as content. That is, you cannot just create content thinking you have identified and are able to challenge previously held beliefs. Content is simply a tool to help shape a consumer's beliefs, which is where the belief framework comes in. The belief framework is the foundation of how you engage with a consumer, because without a framework, the content has no defined purpose, no specific goal or objective. Therefore, creating the belief within the consumer whether or not to choose you and your product over your competitors is the essence of marketing. Beliefs like, can I trust this brand? Can I respect this brand? Can this brand satisfy my needs? Will this brand make my life better? Is this product worth the cost or the risk? These are just some of the beliefs that must exist in the consumer before they choose your brand, your product, or your service over a competitor's. Now, if this idea of consumer belief is new to you, then let's start with a basic definition. Belief is trust, faith, or confidence in someone or something. Now, I like this definition. A belief is an assumed truth. If this is the case, then everything is a belief, including this very definition. You see, we create beliefs to anchor our understanding of the world around us. And so once we have formed a belief, we will tend to persevere with that belief. In fact, my world is smooth. Everything is going nice when my beliefs are upheld and established. But my world can get a bit turned upside down when my beliefs are disrupted, which is probably why people like to hang around other people with similar beliefs. This is also why it is so hard to change my beliefs about certain products. Let's take a quick look at two examples. Here is an image of Olympic skier Lindsey Vonn. Now, let me ask you, what is the belief that Under Armour is constantly trying to build in your mind, not just with this marketing message, but with all of their different campaigns? Well, probably they have the toughest products for the toughest competitors. And if you're wimpy, well, go to the other brand because this brand is only for the tough athletes, right? Under Armour appeals to our pride, our toughness, our passion. It's fairly straightforward. From the beginning, this is the image and belief they are propagating. However, what if you have to change or develop a consumer's belief about your brand? Well, that's what Chevy has spent a lot of time and money trying to do. Now, if you grew up in the 80s in the US, then you may have a strong opinion about a number of Chevy cars. One of your strongest beliefs may be that they are unreliable, or they make a lot of clicking noises, or they fall apart, or whatever that may be, especially compared with the major Asian cars like Honda or Toyota, right? Because of these fairly strong held beliefs, a lot probably from prior experience, Chevy has had the unenviable task of trying to change the mass market's beliefs about Chevy cars. And they do so with ads like the one you see here. Now, if you have ever seen Chevy's TV commercials, they're going the route of shocked and surprised so-called real people that Chevy would win so many awards for their revolutionary vehicles. Now, if you have not seen it, then let me explain. As Chevy shows normal people all the J.D. Power awards that Chevy has won, these very regular not actors then jump and scream and laugh and express how cool the Chevy brand is these days. It's really uncomfortable to watch. And if you're in marketing or just a regular human at all, you've probably also wondered how real these so-called not actors are, especially since their emotions and reactions often seem highly strange and unbelievable. Well, just for grins and giggles, you should try watching some of the Chevy award parodies on YouTube. I'll leave it at that. The point is this. By association, the mass market should be equally shocked and impressed by Chevy's great vehicles and all the awards they have won. Whether you're creating a belief from the get-go like Under Armour, or trying to change the mass market's belief about your brand, you still have to ask the same fundamental question. And that question is, what might the person who will purchase and own the product need to believe? Now, as we will see later, each person in the buying process will have a different set of beliefs that we need to create or nurture in them. Nevertheless, the question still stands. What might that person who will own the product need to believe? Or what do they already believe? And therefore, what beliefs need to be changed? What about the person's manager, the technical lead, the CFO financial lead, procurement? The point being, what is going to bring them to the point of saying, yes, I believe I need your product now? Is it belief that you are the world's foremost authority on a given subject in your industry? That you won your share of JD Power Awards, even though I have no idea what a JD Power Award is? Or that you care about people and the environment first and foremost? Or that your customer service is always available, friendly, and helpful? Or that you're constantly improving and iterating on your product? Or that no one has a better product? Right? In a utopian world, that is how it may work. Answer one question and you're good to go. Unfortunately, we do not live in a utopian world. Sorry to burst your bubble. Like every major decision, there is a process that must be taken, beliefs that must be created or nurtured. Take, for example, marriage, a major decision, right? If it was not love at first sight and you were in Vegas, then there was a process to the relationship developing. There was investment, desire, questions, time spent, rings looked at, and so on. How about buying your first car? If you weren't born with a silver spoon in your mouth, then buying your first car with your own money was a really big deal. Lots of research, questions, watching videos, and so on. The point is that during all of these processes, your beliefs changed and developed. Eventually, you got to the point where all the boxes were checked in your mind, your ducks lined up in a row, and you were ready to make the purchase. You may have found out that although you really loved Tesla cars, it was out of your price range. Within your price range, you may have created the belief that you like Honda's entry-level car more than Toyota's or Chevy's. You would have maybe developed beliefs about certain features on the car, or even what car lot you were going to buy it from, or maybe you were just going to buy it online. These are all previously held beliefs that were changed, created, or nurtured due to external input. Here's one ad that is trying to develop, nurture, or even change your belief. Now, what I love about this Tesla ad are the beliefs. For instance, if you're green, then you have to love us because we're all about being good to the environment, and truly classy people are good to the environment. But there's also the belief that Teslas can be affordable. Do you see that $35,000 price tag? Now, that's not the typical 6-digit price we have come to expect from Tesla. Rather, Tesla is looking to change or establish the belief that a luxury green car like Tesla is also affordable. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm almost sold. So, before we jump into the belief framework and start creating uniformed marketing campaigns like Tesla, I believe there's some necessary groundwork that needs to be laid concerning the topic of beliefs. Here are some general elements or fundamental guidelines that I have found to be true concerning the topic of belief in general. You can almost label these beliefs about belief. Now, when we use the word belief, this isn't just some fuzzy conversation about feelings and emotions. We are looking at what drives the purchase decision. I firmly believe actions do not drive purchases, nor do even family and friends primarily. Rather, there is a more primary motivation. Now, as we go through these elements of belief, these are things that I found to be true over decades of marketing. Now, this is not an exhaustive list by any means, I get that, nor is this rocket science. In fact, this shouldn't really be anything new, but it is laying the groundwork of right thinking for the belief framework. The purpose is to get you to understand how important it is to go beyond just looking at behaviors and actions and buttons and start to focus on what drives purchase behavior, and that is the consumer's belief. So let's quickly go through this list before we dive deeper in the following lessons. First off, everybody has a belief about every product. Now, your belief may be one of, I don't know about the product yet, or I don't care, or I really like that product. But we all have beliefs about every product and product category on differing levels. The reason we put this front and center is to remind ourselves that no matter where a consumer lies on the spectrum, we are to be addressing their beliefs first, not behaviors. Number 2, belief is a strong motivator. For example, let me ask, which is a stronger motivator? Someone tells you to do something because you should and it's the right thing to do? Or you do something because you know you should and you know it's the right thing to do, or at least so you believe. As you can see, belief is the stronger motivator there. Number 3, belief precedes behavior. That is, we act on, as humans, on what we believe. Our actions are simply the result of what we believe to be true. Number 4, all beliefs can be developed. This is where we get into the marketing world. The reality is, as humans, we don't know everything. Therefore, it stands to reason that our beliefs can change about any number of topics based on new information, new research, or different input. And number 5, belief can be measured. Now, hopefully you just completed session number 1, where we spelled out the basic framework for building your own scientific marketing model, where you can measure and analyze every step of the buyer's journey. Now, as you develop your own belief framework, we will also show you how to measure and optimize each step.